it's Miss Bobby here, and I'm so excited to see you. That's right, here at Lynn United Methodist Kids Church. We have been playing games and having fun, learning how to live with responsibility. Now, responsibility is showing you can be trusted with what is expected of you. It might start off when you're young and you get a little bit of responsibility to do some stuff, maybe taking out the trash. And as you get older, you get more and more responsibilities, maybe even leading up to driving a car. So it's important to be trusted with the little things so you can work your way up to the bigger things, which reminds me of our memory verse this month. And I'd like for you to say it along with me. It says in Luke 16:10a, suppose you can be trusted with something very little. Then you can also be trusted with something very large. Now that's right, we have an amazing story for you today. It's actually a story Jesus told, and it shows us another important way for us to show responsibility. When Jesus was here on earth, crowds followed him everywhere he went. Some followed Jesus to hear his teachings, and then some followed Jesus to help them heal their sickness. Others just followed Jesus just to keep an eye on him. Well, one day, a man in the crowd spoke up, and this is what it says in Luke 12:13. It says, "Teacher," he said, "tell my brother to divide the family property with me, because this man wanted more for himself, and he figured Jesus would help him get it." Well, Jesus said, "Friend, who made me judge or umpire between you?" Then he said to them, "Watch out. Be on guard against wanting to have more and more things. Life is not made up of how much a person has." Now, to make sure that the man and the crowd of people really understood what he meant, Jesus told them a story. And this is what the story and how it's written in the Bible. Then Jesus told them a story. He said, "A certain rich man's land produced a very large crop. He thought to himself, 'What should I do? I don't have a place to store my crops.' Then he said, 'This is what I'll do. I will tear down my barns and build bigger ones. I will store my extra grain in them. I'll say to myself, you have plenty of grain stored away for many years. Take life easy, eat, drink, and have a good time.' But God said to him, 'You foolish man, tonight I will take your life away from you. Then who will get what you have prepared for yourself? This is how it will be for whoever stores away for themselves, but is not rich in the sight of God.' Now, the rich man, he didn't do anything different to make his land grow more grain. God provided the sun and the water, and God made the grain grow. The rich man had made a plan for a very easy life. He figured he'd have everything he needed, but was he really being responsible with all that extra food that God had given him? Now think about it. God had given the rich man an amazing gift. He had given him way more than he needed. But the rich man didn't think about how he could use that extra food to help others. Instead, he was greedy. He was greedy, and he kept it all for himself. Because of his decision, the rich man, well, he died, and he couldn't enjoy the gift that God had gave him. So the rich man had more than he needed. He had enough food to fill up his barns, and he even had money to build new and bigger barns to store for later. But to God, this man wasn't rich at all. To be rich in God's eyes, a person must treat others the way that they want to be treated. That's right. And put their needs before their own. They must be generous with what they have and share it with other people. Now, we don't know what happened with the man who first asked the question to Jesus, about helping to get his brother to divide the property. We don't know how he reacted to Jesus' story. Maybe he stopped worrying about getting more of his family's stuff. And maybe he thought, well, more about sharing what he did have, maybe with his brother. Who knows? But we can learn from what Jesus taught that day. We can choose to be generous with the things that God has given us. We have a responsibility to share God's gifts with others. Now, that brings us to our bottom line, which is share what you have. That's right, share what you have. And with that, let's go to God in prayer and help us to do just that. Bow your heads, put your hands together. God, you are so good and generous. You provide the things we need every day. Please help us to be responsible and share your gifts with others. We don't want to be greedy like the rich man in Jesus' story. Instead, we want to share what we have with our family, friends, and neighbors. Please give us the courage to share instead of only wanting more for ourselves. We love you and we ask these things in your name. Amen. Now, everything we have comes from God. From the food we eat, to the place we live, to the stuff we own, to the people we love. All of it is a gift from God. And Jesus' story was very clear. He told us to be generous with God, what God has given us. So, God gave us the perfect example of generosity. He gave us his life freely so that we could be forgiven. So because of Jesus, God gives us grace and forgives us when we make those bad decisions, right? Well, when we understand what Jesus did for us, we should want to be generous to others. So we should be willing to share with what we have. And that's another great rule of life. Just like last week, love God, love others. This week, share with others. And with that, I'm going to say, bye guys. Have a great week.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for another round of Life-Size Hungry Hippos? Let's bring out our players.
Woo! I want you. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Bing bong.
Players, take your positions.
I'm ready. You ready, chicken?
All right. Here we go, Panda. Show them what we're made of. Oh, yeah, that's good center of gravity.
Get ready. Get set. Go!
Gotcha. Ha! Yes! Yes! All of them. Mine, not
And
yours.
they're
I am
grabbing
better.
the spheres.
I am superior. You are not. Oh,
Steven's
look at
looking
that.
like he's
That's
ahead.
extra point.
Oh,
Wait, give me that
Lawson's
way.
really moving
Defense
across the
championships.
floor.
Come on, here we go. Come on.
They're neck and neck.
Soccer ball, chicken.
And
You on the right. Go.
all the way across the floor, the Panda's really raking him across the coals. Steven's moving for the last big one.
I got the big ball. Basketball, basketball, basketball. Yeah. You got the. Where was that one? I didn't see.
Steven wins.
That's not fair. I didn't even see the big one. Fine. Look at that. I'll spot you a point. You can have that one.
May
I
the
didn't
best
want
man
anyway.
win, 'cause he won.
That's a good one. Okay, wait.
What's next?
What's up?
Now it's time for life-size Jumanji.
Nope, I'm out.
Hey everybody, I'm Lawson.
And I'm Steven. Welcome to the So-and-So Show.
Oh, look at that. A comic book falling from the sky. It's a literary miracle.
Yeah, more like a out-of-control comic book collection.
What? No. Don't say that. They'll hear you.
Who? The drawings? Okay, seriously, Lawson, can you please explain what's going on here?
What? A guy can't like comics?
This is not liking comics. This is preventing us from being able to do literally anything on the show today.
Not true.
Look, these comics are all the same.
Yeah, Frog Defenders of Saturn, issue number 106.
It says 109.
It's a misprint, and that's what makes it more valuable.
Wait a minute, are you telling me that all of these are Frog Defenders of Saturn issue 109?
106. Why? Because they're mine, Stephen. They're all mine.
But if they're all yours, that means nobody else can have one.
Precisely.
How much did all this cost you?
A lot.
And you think this is a wise investment?
Oh yeah, no, my investment coach is completely on board with my fiscal choices.
What? How do you know the word fiscal? And also, your investment coach?
Yes. Why don't you welcome someone who knows stuff? Welcome to the show, Mr. Moneybags.
Ah, hello there, Lawson. Greetings, Stephen.
Hello, Mr.
Mr. Moneybags, that is correct. Oh, I love money.
You ever play Monopoly?
Oh, I love having monopolies.
Oh. Okay, well, we know who you are, so why don't you tell us what you know?
Oh, of course, it's all in the name, my boy. It's all in the name.
That's my friend.
You're gonna have to be more specific.
I know money! Bags and bags of money. With money, anything you want is yours for the taking and for the keeping. Remember that, Lawson, my boy?
Exactly, right, yes, and I've been applying what you taught me to my comic book collection.
Ooh.
All for me, and yes, it's true, I want all the comics show, oh, well, for you.
Ah, bravo, bravo.
Well, that doesn't seem very nice.
Lawson, whenever a friend asks me for a favor, do you know what I tell them?
Oh, yeah, I know this one. You say,
I tell them no. All right? I tell them no. You don't need friends or favors in this life. Remember that all you need is pennies, quarters, and dollar bills raining from the sky. Those are your real friends.
but you do have friends that are real people, though, right?
Right.
Oh, of course I do. Of course I do. If you consider Mr. Franklin and Mr. Hamilton. Oh, hello there, Mr. Hamilton. Oh, you're looking mighty green today. Well, thank you, Mr. Franklin. Oh, I'll take that as a compliment.
Is this my future?
Oh, by the way, thank you for inventing electricity. Oh, yes, of course. Oh, and thank you for not throwing away your opportunity.
Okay, it's Bible story time with Kellen.
I need more of these.
Hey guys.
Hey, Kellen.
Hey, Kellen, what do you have for us today?
Well, today we're looking at a parable that Jesus taught, sometimes called the parable of the rich fool.
Did somebody say rich?
Yeah, I did, Mr.
Mr. Archibald Moneybags, son. Mr. Archibald Moneybags. But you may call me Mr. Moneybags.
Okay, Mr. Moneybags. Clearly you're rich, but the person in the story was also a...
Oh, no, I'd be happy to help you tell your little story there, son. And, mark my words, you won't regret it.
Oh, boy. Well, anyway, a parable, if you didn't know, is a story that has a lesson at the end. Jesus used stories sometimes to help people see what he was talking about in different ways. On this occasion, Jesus was teaching when someone said, "Teacher, tell my brother to give me half the stuff that belongs to our family." Now, they must have been having an argument over something about, like, who has the most stuff. So Jesus said, "Watch out. Be on your guard against wanting to have more and more things. Life is not made up of how much a person has." Then Jesus tells them a story. There once was a rich man.
Boo-yay! Oh, I will add this to the 25 smackaroos I won in that beauty contest.
One year, his land produced a very large crop.
Look at all of my crops. Stupendous. But what should I do? I don't have anywhere to store all of these crops. And there is no way I could use all of these crops in just one season all by myself. What to do? What to do? Light bulb! I will take all of my barns and tear them down. Wait for it. Tear them down. But then build bigger ones. And then I will store all of my crops in these newer, larger barns. Ooh. You know, I have plenty of crops, and these crops are going to last me for a long time. I mean, many, many years long time. So I should probably just take life a little easy. I suppose I'll just eat and drink and have a really good time.
But God said to him,
"You foolish man, tonight I will take your life away from you. Then who will get what you have prepared for yourself?"
No! Oh, my corn! Ah! Now there's so many bulls! Ah! I'm dead.
To be clear, there were no, and I repeat, no inflatable kiddie pools in Jesus' story. But the rich man did die, and he never got to enjoy all the crops he had stored away for himself. Then Jesus said, "That is how it will be for whoever stores things away for themselves, but is not rich in the sight of God." The end.
Wow. That was quite the ending.
Yeah, I think the point Jesus was trying to make is that we only have so much time here on earth. Do we want to spend it caring about all the stuff we have? Or do we want to spend our time caring for the people we love?
Yeah. Instead of keeping all the crops to himself, the rich guy could have shared with the people around him.
And I think that's what Jesus meant when he said we should be rich in the sight of God.
I think you're right. And that sounds like my job is done here. I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Kellen.
Bye, Kellen. Steven,
Yes, Lawson.
I think I might be hoarding comic books.
Might be.
I don't want to die like the rich fool in Jesus' story. I don't want to end up friendless and alone.
I'm your friend.
Not now, Steven. I have to do something. What should I do? What should I do? I don't... The light bulb. Reveal the question.
What do you have that you can share?
Comic books.
Yeah.
I have so many. You get a comic. You get a comic. You get a comic. You get a comic.
Lawson?
You get a comic.
Thank you.
What do you have that you could share? Could be stuff you have, or you could share your time or your talents.
It's our responsibility to share what we have, and it's one of our rules for life. Share what you have.
Talk about what you have to share with each other.
And we'll see you next week. I'm Steven.
And I'm Lawson.
And this was the So-and-So Show.
Bow, 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 bow.
Hello? It's not about money anymore for me. No, not at all. I'm going to share from now on. Yes. Sharing is caring. I'm going to change my name even. They changed my name. It's not Mr. Moneybags anymore. No. See? It's gone. In fact, my name is Mr. Empty Pockets. That's right. I'm Mr. Empty Pockets now because I give away so much money that my pockets are empty. Hello?